Lusitanians of western Hispania.
The Lusitanians were great warriors. They were fantastic fighters, and they were used to independence for centuries and centuries, so they would never give up.
The Lusitanians will complete our army. It is said they have no word for truce. They've never needed one.
Well, they'll either listen to us or kill us.
The last time your people were foolish enough to come here, they tried to conquer us. They failed. So, why have you come back now?
We face the same great enemy, Rome. And it will not rest until it's consumed us all.
Rome is your enemy, not ours. And even if it were, we fear no one.
A good warrior never underestimates the might of its enemy.
Or himself.
Carthage cannot defeat Rome by itself. So if we fall to her legions, you will be next. It already has eyes on Hispania and Lusitania. But Rome can be stopped if we fight together.
Then perhaps we should fight with Rome against you and Carthage.
Go ahead and see what happens when it uses you to destroy us, and then turns on you and Lusitania.
And you? And Carthage?
Would reward you.
With,
the riches of a republic whose wealth is beyond imagining.
When you pay tribute to our honor, understand this. You are not buying it.
Then it is settled.
You are their creature now.
And soon they will be ours.
Let us hope.
They will join us. If they do not, they'll all be dead.
Within 7 months, Hannibal's barbarian army grows to 30,000 men. But still, he waits on the Lusitanians.
Hannibal's favorite kind of war is mobile war. He's not much given to static warfare. And the Lusitanians epitomize mobile warfare. They're fast, they have light cavalry, they're good at ambushes. So Hannibal and the Lusitanians are made for each other.
If you're right, Rome is the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen,
I am right.
then you'd better have something they don't.
I do. And his name is Camillus.
Yeah.
Hannibal's united army won some battles, but not the war. And the next time the barbarians stand against Rome, they'll need a new tactic to defeat an enemy that's becoming unstoppable. With Carthage defeated, the Republic is free to conquer the Mediterranean. By 150 BC, its borders stretch from Greece in the east to Hispania in the west. But as the barbarians continue to resist the Roman way of life, they learn the consequences of rebellion against the Republic.
Those barbarians that had aligned themselves with the Carthaginians have to pay a price, and they're going to pay a terrible price.
Tribes that allied with Hannibal against Rome are the first to come under the sword. The Lusitanians, Celtic warriors of western Hispania, are Rome's next target.
The Roman action had to be so terrible, so cruel, to dissuade the rest of the Spanish nation from resisting.
28 years after Hannibal's death, Rome invades western Hispania. Governor Servius Galba is granted authority to use force against the Lusitanians. But he does far more. Galba summons the tribes to hear the terms of a peace treaty, a deal that promises to resettle them to new lands. What follows is a brutal lesson in Roman diplomacy.
Liberate us!
The barbarians of western Hispania are under siege as Rome invades their homeland, seeking revenge for their part in Hannibal's war. Lured by the promise of peace, the Lusitanians instead become the latest victims of Roman treachery.
He gathers them together and massacres them. It's an act of great brutality, it's an act of betrayal, and it shows what little respect he has for them.
Thousands lie dead. The survivors are running for their lives. Among them is a shepherd named Viriathus. "30,000 are butchered or enslaved in Galba's massacre. The few Lusitanians who survive are hunted by Roman death squads.
When a military force rounds up the women and children and eliminates the population, or attempts to do so, that's genocide.
Genocide can never be 100% effective, And if it isn't 100% effective, it will simply generate the desire for revenge.
The overreaction of the oppressor to the oppressed removes fear. When they're backed against a wall, the oppressor removes all options. Then the poor lash out and they rebel.
They promised new lands.
Said the soil was rich.
It is. With Lusitanian blood. You cannot stay here. Galba's murder squads will return.
But the children need food. Water.
Scavenge what you can from here. Use the cover of night. Keep to the lowlands.
You're coming with us.
But we need you. You're a fighter. I am a shepherd. I am no fighter.
Did you fight? There's the accessory, Briss. Go. Go! If you leave, these people will die.
They all die, old man.
We all die, Shepard. But not today. Not here.
Will he live, Targus?
He will. I wish he hadn't.
The Republic now occupies more than 100,000 square miles of barbarian territory in Hispania. Roman roads begin to cut across the landscape, part of the transportation network that ferries plundered resources back to Rome and carries death squads to put down any resistance.
The Romans built forts, encampments, establishing roads, lines of communications, buying supplies from the local population. That's what enables the transformation of a wilderness into a territory.
Isn't much. You need it more than me. Galba has these territories surrounded. We're prisoners around land.
His men will return. They will not stop hunting us.
We strike camp. Move forward again today. Head for the mountains.
We took what we could from the village. No food, no blankets, no tools, weapons, nothing of use.
These people will die too. If we don't find food and shelter for them.
Then don't go forward. Go back. To Galba's killing field.
Take what you can from the bodies.
We can't.
You must. We must. Did you find your wife and boy?
Soldiers, on the new road.
Get them to the lowlands. Follow the river west. I will find you. Where are you going? Hunting.
Barbarian tribes living on the borders of the Republic are thrown into chaos as the Roman killing machine descends on their lands. But Viriathus, a shepherd, decides to make a stand.
Lusitania has a message for Galba.
Viriathus's message to Rome is clear. Lusitania won't surrender without a fight.
Get that bound again. Get some rest. We'll move on at first light.
Is this what we become? A nation of refugees? We must fight. If Rome wants this land, then let us bury them in it.
The sources tell us that Viriathus was a shepherd. To survive as a shepherd, you had to be a bit of a bandit. You were out there in the mountains, you had to deal with wolves and other predators, and you often had to deal with real bandits. So I think that Viriathus has exactly the skills that the surviving Lusitanians desperately need in order to continue their resistance against Rome.
Viriathus begins to transform his band of survivors into an organized resistance. They use the forest as cover to launch small-scale raids and escape undetected.
Viriathus knew very well how to attack and retreat and run away. This can be converted very easily into a very effective military action. This is what we call today guerrilla warfare.
It's perhaps the most ancient form of warfare, revived and rebooted to play to the strengths of the outnumbered and under-equipped tribes fighting for their freedom.
the enemy was invisible. He would attack and disappear, hit and run.
He's going to their very psyche. He wants to create the impression that the Romans are not operating in friendly territory.
This will become the signature weapon of the barbarian resistance in the battles to come. And in Lusitania, it's a strategy that catches the Romans off guard. Viriathus starts to build a name for himself, and Rome takes notice.
A rebellion is like a virus. You know, if you can get it right when it starts, when it's in its infancy, you have a good chance of eradicating it. But if you ignore it or you allow it to grow, it's going to continue to spread until it reaches a point where you can't handle it.
Who is this Viriathus? This ghost? Still, the sound of silence is deafening.
Three years into Viriathus' rebellion, Rome appoints a new commander. Gaius Vitellius is Galba's former enforcer. He's handed control of Lusitania with one simple mission: end the barbarian uprising.
You're the last of your people. Tell me where I can find Viriathus, and I will let you go. We take their weapons. We take their land. We take their lives. And still they fight back.
They are a proud people.
And they will take their pride. Let the man have him. When they've finished, cut off his sword hand and let him go.
If Viriathus unites the tribes.
I cannot go back to Rome without the head of Viriathus.
Head of your ghost, sir. We don't even know who he is.
Someone does, Marcus. And I will find him and hunt that bastard to the edge of the earth.
You do not need to fear us. We are not bandits. That's what they made us become.
Scavenger?
Survivors. My name is
Viriathus, the shepherd.
And you are?
Italicus, lost of the Titani.
The others?
There are no others. Gaius Vitellius. There were repercussions.
From what?
For your so-called rebellion.
Something we see again and again in Roman history is a tremendous dilemma that faces rebels. Every success against the Romans will lead to reprisal. Every victory will lead to bloodshed on the part of the innocents. So those fighting against Rome face a paradox.
I am responsible for the massacre of his tribe.
Vitellius has murdered his people, not you.
My actions.
How many more people has your rebellion saved? It is a path that Rome has forced you to walk, Viriathus. There will be more Lusitanian blood on your hands before this is over.
Despite the danger, Viriathus must convince new allies to join him to keep the fight going.
The oppressed must never surrender to suppression, but must resist. And that becomes a great temptation when you become weary and tired. Maybe we can't win. And that's where leadership has to emerge against all these odds. Yes, we can. We will, we must.
I know what many of you think of this fight, this war. I do not want war. I do not crave it. But we need war. We cannot stop what is coming. We cannot hide any longer. We cannot run. Watch as our people starve at the hands of Rome. Do nothing as our children die, as Lusitania dies. So I stand here asking you to fight. Not for me, but with me.
Look at us. We are an army of refugees. How are we supposed to take on the entire Roman army with a handful of weapons between us?
If we fight Romans like Romans, we will fail. So we must fight them as Lusitanians.
Without our father's swords.
Yes, they took our father's swords. But we still have their weapons. The weapons our fathers left us are here. And here, we know this land. This terrain, it is in our blood. Rome took our blades, but we still have the most precious weapon of all.
The barbarians of ancient Hispania have defended their homeland against invasion for hundreds of years. But Rome is unlike any enemy they've faced before. In Lusitania, Vitellius cracks down on the population in order to crush their rebellion and flush out its leader, Viriathus. He intensifies weapons collections, tortures captives, and hunts down refugees in hiding.
For Vitellius, the pressure is enormous. He has no alternative. There is only one acceptable outcome, and that is he returns with the head of Viriathus.
But despite the danger, survivors flock to the rebel cause.
The Romans expected that the Lusitanians would give up, terrified. Instead, it was the opposite. They were eager for revenge.
With followers now numbering 10,000, Viriathus escalates his guerrilla raids on the Roman occupiers.
Viriathus seems always to be one step ahead of Vitellius, one step ahead of the Romans. He's a natural at this. He's been trained in dealing with the countryside and living off the land his whole life.
Viriathus is putting in motion a plan to deliver Rome a death blow. But success depends on his ability to evade Vitellius, who has now launched a full-scale manhunt to find the rebel leader.
And he calls us barbarians.
Is what we've done any better?
There are more hidden throughout the village.
Vitellius chases Viriathus for months, but is outsmarted at every turn.
When they're chasing a fugitive or an escapee and they're in their own backyard, you know, from our perspective, it's like chasing a ghost. I mean, these guys, they disappear, they get help from people on the outside. They know the environment, they certainly know, you know, their own backyards and where they'll feel comfortable in hiding.
Bribes of food and shelter fail to entice the barbarians to betray their leader. Brutality also fails. Vitellius changes tactics and offers the refugees a chance at peace. He travels from camp to camp to spread the word.
you are?
Gaius Vitellius, Praetor of Hispania Ulterior, supreme authority in these lands. And you?
Rome's aggressive expansion provokes an uprising in the Lusitanians' homeland. Deep in the forest, Viriathus comes face to face with the man who has been chasing him for 4 years. If he is identified, it will mean the end of the barbarian rebellion and of the Lusitanian people.
And you are?
Gaius Vitellius, Praetor of Hispania Ulterior, supreme authority in these lands. And you?
A shepherd. A Lusitanian.
Poacher.
A free man.
A shepherd. And yet, you lead these people.
I do not lead these people.
You may need to tell them that, shepherd.
What do you want, Roman?
I can grant these people, your people, lands in our territories.
They are not your lands to give. Galba murdered our families. He stole the land from us.
Galba is no longer in charge. I am. And I'm offering the lands back.
At what cost?
Silver. Iron. Whatever these lands can provide. The Republic is expanding. It needs grain.
To feed the army that comes to kill us.
War is an expensive business. We require your people to farm the lands again. And the Republic will take a small tax.
These are our lands.
These are Rome's lands now. You have a choice. Stay in these camps and watch your nation and your people die. Or take my offer and live again. Speak with the other tribes. Many of them have already agreed the terms. You have until dawn to decide.
And if we do not?
You have until dawn.
Italicus led them here. So I...
You've endangered us all bringing them here.
No more than you do attacking them. We've heard them, Viriathus.
They offer death.
We are already dying. They offer life. They bring more food than can be set for you.
My what?
Rebellion.
I fight for these people.
These people follow you because they're lost. They are not soldiers. We cannot win this war. You cannot win this fight. Are you going to kill me? For speaking the truth. You are more Roman than they are. I know Gaius Vitellius cannot be trusted. What they offer us, it's survival for our people.
They offer us nothing. These lands are our birthright. Yet Rome takes them. They murder our people, our traditions, our culture. This fight is a fight for our freedom. You say you don't believe in this rebellion. Yet you do not tell Gaius Vitellius my name.
He would have slaughtered us all.
You do as you must. But I will make no deal with Rome. Gaius Vitellius wants an answer by dawn. We will give him one.
I have a message for Vitellius. This was my father's. As long as that bastard lives or breathes, this is the last silver he will take from these lands. There is a fire coming. Who are you?
Viriatus, the shepherd.
The barbarians' battle for control of the ancient world rages on in western Hispania, where after 4 years of fighting in the shadows, the rebel leader Viriatus has finally revealed himself to the Roman who is out for his head.
Crude, isn't it? The shepherd is my ghost. And you allowed him to escape.
We'll hit their camp at first light.
That camp is already gone. I want you to double my guard. Burn every refugee camp.
Many will be camps we've made deals with. We can't just...
I'm renegotiating our terms. We will burn them anyway. Send word to Rome. If Viriatus wants a war of fire, I shall give him one.
With the elusive barbarian leader finally revealed, Vitellius raises 2 legions, as many as 10,000 men, to hunt him down. The Romans are playing right into Viriatus' hands. He's planned a full-scale assault designed to give his fighters the advantage against Rome's superior numbers. It's an evolution of the barbarians' guerrilla war.
The campaign's reached a crucial point now, and Viriatus wants to end this. To annihilate his enemy is basically the way that he thinks is the best to go forward.
The paradox of guerrilla warfare is that you can cause the enemy great pain, but you can't win a war with simply guerrilla tactics. At a certain point, you have to switch over and put everything on the line and risk everything in a big engagement.
The Lusitanians won't face Rome on an open battlefield or in small lightning raids. Instead, Viriatus engineers a series of coordinated guerrilla attacks, using the natural terrain as a gauntlet that will give Rome no escape.
This is the 3rd camp. Nothing. Tracks lead off in every direction.
The shepherd gathers his flock.
There's been another Viriatus ambush. Only one guard dead. The rest they maimed.
He pushes me, Marcus. He's evaded us for all these years, and now he shows himself. Why? He's trying to distract me. What is it he doesn't want me to see?
The warrior shepherd and his guerrilla army draws Vitellius and his force of 10,000 legionaries deeper into the forest. He aims to spread the Roman line thin like a snake winding through the ravines and gullies. Viriatus will target the head, and 9,000 barbarian allies will push the tail toward a deadfall. over the edge of a high cliff. The plan depends on Vitellius taking the bait and chasing Viriathus without let-up.
Viriathus let you live. Why?
I do not fear death.
Perhaps you should. Where is my ghost? Where is Viriathus?
He runs for Tribala.
The mountains. Where?
I don't know. But he knows you will follow.
If this is true, if this is true, Viriathus will be forced into the open. We will lead both legions on Tribala, crush the insurgents before he can unite any remaining tribes.
Viriathus is no fool. Even he would not lead his men against an army of 10,000.
We will lead the advance party, lure him out. The legions will back up our rear.
And Italicus? Shall I kill him?
No. He may be of some use. Set him free.
Onward! Formations! Formations!
Gotta wait for the legion. Let's take the auxilia.
Hunt that bastard now! Stay together!
Vitellius leads his men directly into a narrow gully. The Roman forces are stretched into a thin line 2 miles long, on the edge of a deadly ravine. 9,000 barbarian warriors are poised to descend from the forest and push the Roman line into the abyss. In western Hispania, Viriathus and his barbarian rebels launch a coordinated guerrilla attack against the Roman legions that have brutalized them for 4 long years. It is the most ambitious battle plan they've ever attempted. The barbarian attack descends from the hills, pushing the Roman legions back toward the edge of a deadly cliff.
Have you come for this? No. Keep it. My father took that from a dead Roman at Zama.
Rome will pour mud onto this land until every corner of every field is ripped from your hands.
Let them come, for it is Rome who have united us, and we will not be defeated.
Rome will never fear you. Shepherd.
It is not I they should fear, but the generations to come.
Viriathus and his guerrilla armies slaughter 4,000 Romans in the Battle of Tribala. Thousands more are wounded.
You know, Viriathus' ambush at Tribala is a great shock to the Romans, and it's a great achievement for him and his army.
Lusitania became the Roman Empire's Vietnam. They were on an unknown environment, unknown landscape, unknown way of fighting.
This defeat of the Romans at the hands of what were effectively a small bandit nation sends a message to the rest of the communities there that they can make it on their own.
The barbarians hold the upper hand for the next 8 years.
Being a successful guerrilla warrior is like walking a tightrope. You know that it's very difficult to keep your balance, and you know how easy it is for the enemy to get to you and how vulnerable you are. Viriathus understood that he couldn't keep fighting against Rome forever, and that's why he eventually decides to seek peace terms.
But Viriathus makes a fatal error. The Republic cannot be trusted to make peace deals. Using gold plundered from Lusitania, Rome bribes Viriathus' own men to betray their leader. 8 years after his victory at Tribala, he's assassinated. Lusitania falls to Rome less than a year after his death.